Are you already training as well? And these are all software based.
They will not do anything without each other. We can explore all events and see how.
My great privilege and honor to present the first copies of my book. It just came out on the shelf yesterday, and that bio that you read, Shalini, was before the book came out, and it came out yesterday, so it's 24 hours later. So it's my great privilege to present Ed with the first copy and Kate with the also first copy. Thank you very much. Please do us the honor of unveiling it. Thank you, Ranjini. You're welcome. It's a little photo opportunity, so I'll take that.
Okay.
I'll take that paper away. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Why did you write this book, Ranjini?
See, I found that our whole war for talent that dear Ed Cohen enlightened me today that it was a word coined by McKinsey. The gap that we're seeing in the talent field certainly had one area which I could probably value add in because of working internationally with 75 nationalities that came into India. And I found, Kate, that in today's India, in August of 2011, the same Economic Times that you wrote an article for said that there were 3,138 foreign companies registered and operating in India. So the world is completely coming to India. We also know about the other side of how many of us actually work with the world virtually or in our Indian side going over to acquire the companies overseas. And then I found there were about 100,000 MBAs every year that we turn out to skill their teams, right? But the numbers of misunderstandings because of a non-existence of a global form of behavior, intercultural understanding and behavior, the options for miscommunication were infinite. And that's why I thought, can I take the stories of real life examples that we have had in running global adjustments for the past 16 years, starting with bringing Ford Motor Company into India with 80 nationalities that were from all over, Ford New Zealand, Ford Taiwan, up to, say, BMW, who came in a couple of years ago, or the newest Bharat-Benz with Daimler. And all of those companies brought in their mindsets, needed to understand India, and were actually very open to meeting us halfway. And it suddenly felt like, all right, we Indians have to quickly do what we're very good at doing, which is adapting with each other so well, because as a nation, we automatically have to adapt to each other. You come to Bombay, you better quickly learn to say a few words in Hindi or Marathi. And if you're coming to the south, you better quickly be able to appreciate Mahabalipuram. And we're used to that. Cultural chameleons is part of who we are. But can we quickly create a cultural intelligence tool, is what I thought, so that it could be given out to our MBAs and our inductions into the thousands of people that join our workforce, and can create an opportunity of learning. And that's why I had the wonderful inspiration by leaders who said, go ahead and create it into a book. And that's how Upworldly Mobile came to be.
Very good. You outlined a number of gaps in the book, some particular gaps, gelling with the Japanese and KISS, I think, were some of them. Can you give me an example of one of the most critical ones for Indians and, to really be accepted as, leaders as well as, technical experts? What's an example that you might share with the group to give a sense?
So let me do do a quick demonstration, okay? Can I just step down and come to a table and say, this is when Kate, I'll quickly tell you that this is when Kate and I met in Cambridge, and I had to adapt to her because she was there in a nice sweater, elegant, and I only wear Indian clothes. So to show up in Boston weather and still appear to be professional so that Kate Sweetman will want to work with me, but yet not be freezing was a challenge, correct? So I'm saying Upworldly Mobile is about holding on to your Indian roots but flying global wings. So Kate, one of the best examples was how I had to dress that day. I had to make sure that I was in a silk, elegant outfit, but I had open shoes. Guess what? We're only used to chappals, right? And so going overseas, making sure that you were comfortable physically, yet creating an impression through what you speak, not so much what you wear, but elegant about what you wear, seemed to be an important thing. And I did that in my own way, and today I have the story to tell of Kate Sweetman saying I'm her elder sister, and yes, I am older than Kate. And I think that's what will be the opportunity that we will all have. How we dress, what we speak, how we understand each other, those are all the behaviors that are immediately recognizable and stemming deep down within from, say, a value or which comes from a belief. So let me give you a quick example. One of my American friends, and I won't name her yet, said to me, oh, my son is already 20, I'm waiting to kick him out the door because he's got to get into college and I'm waiting to have my freedom back. And my first reaction was, what? You kick out your son? Because what do Indian parents do? We hold on to them till they're 80. We can outlive them. And we all try to live with each other. But the value that was there in the behavior of saying, I'm going to let my children fly the nest in America, stemmed from the fact that you value individualism and your own capability to manage by yourself. It's that value that then promotes you to believe that kicking, the term kicking is not kicking, gently taking your son to university and setting him up in a campus, the belief is that's what will teach him to fend for himself. And that's how he will become an individual that will be extremely successful in his life. The behavior can only be interpreted if we can look into the value and the belief that is below it. And I'm saying cultural intelligence is about that. It's about not judging each other. Not judging each other and quickly saying, he's blunt, well, all Germans are blunt. But looking at what was that direct communication that came to me because he was German and because he believes in just stating things as they are.
One of the things that strikes me is that Indians are really very successful throughout the world. I mean, we can look at a lot of companies in the U.S. are actually run by Indians. I'm thinking of Citigroup, for example, companies in Silicon Valley, really all over, Pepsi. And I've heard a statistic recently that said that 1/3 of all college professors in the United States are actually Indian. So a lot is going on here, and so my assumption had always been just that Indians were smarter than we were, or harder working, or just looking for opportunities. But am I also hearing from you that some group of Indians is somehow very culturally competent in this way?
Yes, I think we're also smarter than you people, I have to admit that. But we actually have this in our DNA of being able to adapt, to be able to catch up on the differences because, as I said, we do it internally. And negotiations and cricket are national sport in India. So we're both used to doing that all the time. We learn negotiations since we're little. So Sabir Bhatia got lots more money for Microsoft. That's because he said when I was buying vegetables with my mom, I'd learned to do that, right, to negotiate. So I think as business entrepreneurs and startups, we get to the next level because of our interpersonal skills of being able to get on with others, but also because of, I think, just being astute businessmen.
Very interesting. What else do Indians bring besides cricket, which is, I guess, teamwork, and obviously great educational backgrounds and stuff. What else are they bringing? And I guess I'm thinking back to what I heard from Shashi Tharoor about this. What else are Indians bringing to the world, or what else can Indians bring to the world if they develop the cultural competence to be able to go out and be who they are?
I think Indians have the perfect ability to be teachers and traders, right? We can be monks and merchants. We bring spirituality, which is very intrinsic to who we are, and I see the world looking at us positively because of that. You're talking about the Mayans and the Incas. We have that deep belief, and we would be easy to welcome both aspects of wisdom and wealth into people's lives by interpreting India for you, interpreting spirituality for you. And that's why in Upworldly Mobile, I've tried to say that there are two aspects that we have to do with our young and our professionals. One is we need to, I think, intensify our own knowledge of Indian culture and who we are so that we can explain it succinctly to the world. And also the other side is understand those nuances that will make me quickly adapt and be successful in different cultures. For instance, in India, you ask someone, why do you have a dot on the forehead? Why do you light a lamp? Which are questions the Kate Sweetmans of the world ask me all the time. Right? We had Jeff Bezos, the founder, CEO of Amazon, who came and did a three-hour immersion into Indian culture before Kindle was launched to understand retail behavior in India. And I think the best retail behavior is when I took him to see a sari shopping, because one woman will be buying a sari, three others will be giving her opinions on the color, the quality, and the design that should be purchased. So I think in understanding India and being able to interpret it is also going to be as important, because that's something we bring to the world, which I think you have also had a deep appreciation of, Kate. You've come with me to Akshardham, and she's been on this boat ride with me in Delhi, where you go back into the Vedic times. You remember that,
Yes,
Kate?
it was wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's a global phenomenon. I thought maybe I was interested because Americans had this period when people were going to India before I was born, of course, back in the 60s. But I'm living in Malaysia right now, and when I told people I was going to India, they said, India, incredible India. So there is definitely a fascination, which I'm not sure Indians can appreciate. I don't know, maybe you can, about how much the world does look to India as being a really special place.